What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Review I Want Million Poker. Yes, it happened again. The first millionaire in 2016 has been found through a $100 spin and go. It's one of these three lucky guys that you can see over here. And I got the hand histories, the hand history material from that spin and go match. And as always, I'm going to be reviewing that with you together. And hopefully we'll find out a couple of neat tricks that we can use for our next $1 million spin and go when it comes to that. It's always interesting to see how people play in a $1 million match, right? So it's going to be 100K for second and third place. And we've got Pablo Tenizis from... Pablo Tenizis, is that right? Yeah, from Mexico. Then we got Cayman AP2 from Canada and Rainman751 from Russia. They played a $100 spin and go together. And I'm curious to see what happened. Well, to be fairly honest, not meaning to troll you guys, but this could be a long episode. Well, kappa. It's going to be the shortest episode ever. It's also the shortest spin and go for a $1 million prize pool that happened on PokerStars so far. It only contains 4 hands. Well, still, maybe there's lots to learn in 4 hands. We'll see about that. So let's kick it off here. Very first hand, we've got Pablo on the button. Whoops, replayer not working correctly, as always. Nice one. Pablo starts with a raise to 41 on the button and sees a 3-bet from Cayman AP2, which then Rainman goes ahead and calls. So let's check out the action here. I mean, the min open from the button, fairly standard play, and then the 3-bet to 122. That looks quite strong to me. It looks like Cayman is already wanting to commit his stack to this hand. Might look threatening enough to get Pablo to fold a lot of weak hands on the button. So he could be doing that with a wide range. He could also be doing that with a lot of hands that he wants to go with if he sees a shove. We don't know that yet, but very first hand in the match, I assume it's a $100 spin and go. People might be more aggressive than at lower stakes. So I do think that there's some chance Cayman could be light in this spot. Very interesting, the play from Rainman here. He just decides to flat call. Something that you rarely see, especially when you're out of position and we don't close the action. I couldn't think of a hand that I would want to be doing this with. I think most of my hands in that spot, all the hands in my range in that spot that I want to be playing, would be shoving. And I would assume that calling here has merits in order to trap people when you have a very strong hand. But it can get you into trouble if you have a medium strength hand. I mean, the price that you're getting here is quite... I mean, it's not very good. You have to pay $102 for a pot of 183. So I really don't like the play if you're not really going with a hand anyways. If somebody ships, I mean, Pablo could still ship now, and then we'd be left in a very tough spot. So I'm really thinking that Rainman can be very strong in that spot on average, or you could have a medium strength hand that he's not wanting to get it in with right now, which I don't like that much because it puts you into a lot of tough decisions. Say you have pocket 9s, pocket 8s in that situation and you get a shove from Pablo, or you have a medium pair and the flop comes with 1 or 2 overcards. So once you see a flop, you got to be determined about what you want to be doing next with your hand, I think. Oh well, too much speculation going on, I guess. Pablo makes the fold, and then we see a flop here. The flop comes Queen 9-3 2 hearts, and Cayman makes a very tiny bet. That bet, such a small bet, has become kind of the norm. You see a lot of the bets in tournaments and also in cash games decrease in size. And I think this could mean a lot of different things. A lot of people could try to size small in order to induce some action, to get action from weaker hands that they otherwise would not get if they bet too big, if they just went all in here. But at the same time, it also gives you the option to bluff for a cheaper price. And if Rainman has a hand like Ace-Jack of clubs, say, and he doesn't want to continue for 60, then 60 does the job just very well. So I think this could be used in several ways here, and we don't really know yet what it means. Rainman then decides to shove. So going with what we said pre-flop, I feel like he has a decent hand here. Probably a hand that can at least be equal or beat top pair, like ace queen or better. Slow played aces, slow played kings. Could also be a hand like ace jack of hearts or ace ten of hearts or ace king of hearts even. A lot of potential outs in equity that just want to pick up the pot right there, or when they get a call, then they'll be in great shape. So anyways, Cayman decides to fold. So we do see that Cayman is capable of bluffing in that spot with a small size, which is quite interesting, given the way this hand played out. So he was hoping that maybe Rainman would be folding something like ace-jack of clubs here, or maybe would try to put some pressure on a hand like pocket tens, pocket jacks. Anyways, on to the next hand. Next hand, hand number 2, Cayman on the button. He makes a large open to 80, which is quite uncommon. I would not think that this is something you want to be doing with that stack size, planning to fold. So basically he's signaling to the other 2 players that he's committed, and he gets 2 folds. Next hand, hand number 3. Well, it could be over quick. We see a min raise from the button from Rainman and a shove from Pablo. And that stack depth, again, min raise, and with Pablo being at about 22 big blinds, I think this is a fairly standard play and could be done with a wide range of hands here, especially given the min open. Usually people shove hands that don't want to see flops or don't profit from seeing flops, like small or medium pairs, because they don't want to see overcards. They don't want to give people the right price to call pre-flop and see a flop with them. At the same time, it could be that he's just doing that with a lot of ace-x type combinations or blocker type hands, king-queen, that just want to pick up the dead money, because the button in a 3-handed match will be just opening super wide. Anyways, Rainman makes the call, and yeah, we can just discuss it back and forth. It is what it is. It is pretty much what I could consider a cooler in a 3-handed spin and go match for 20 big blinds. It's tens versus kings. Just big pair against a big pair. It's not much you can do. No mistakes made by any of these players, I think. Not at all. I mean, some people would maybe think, okay, I'd just call the tens, but tens are so strong. If you shove here, you can definitely get called by worse. You can get called by worse pairs. You basically also get people to sometimes fold hands that have good equity against your hands, like queen jack or king jack. Those hands might get folded on the button, and then you actually profit because people fold about 40 to 45% equity against your hand. And you also don't have to deal with the pesky flops of 1 overcard, 2 overcards, 3 overcards even. And it just is a great spot to shove with tens. Just unlucky that he ran into kings there. But well, I mean, 100K for 3rd place. That's not a bad way to leave a match, I guess. But that leaves Rainman as the chip leader now, and Cayman with 300 in chips. And yeah, this is gonna could be the last hand, guys. I don't know. I don't want to spoil or anything, but it could be the last hand. We don't know. We'll see. It's hand number 4. Anyways, Cayman makes the min open. Rainman flats from the big blind. The flop comes queen 6-5 with 2 clubs, and Cayman makes a pretty large bet of 60 into 80. The standard would be around half the pot. That's something that I would expect. That bigger bet could mean that Cayman wants maybe to put more pressure on the small pairs or ace highs and just needs a fold here with some draws or some speculative stuff or stuff that missed the flop completely. At the same time, he could also be looking for more value because the board is more drawy, and draws of any sort like 7-8 or any pair in between queen and 6 or 6 and 5 and a queen are going to call the 60 anyways, I think. So Rainman makes the call, and the 7 on the turn is actually an interesting card because the 7 of the turn should improve or could improve both players' ranges, meaning that Rainman, who could have called with any pair on the flop, shouldn't be scared of the 7 too much when he holds a queen. At the same time, if he has a hand like 7-8, he just made a pair. If he has a hand like pocket 7s, pocket 8s, he just made a pair with an open ender too. He just made a set. So a lot of hands improve. 7-6 makes 2 pair. 7-5 makes 2 pair. All possible holdings. He just defended passively from the big blind, so you can have a very, very wide range for doing so. Even queen 7 could be in his range, but most likely the 7 will put out a lot more draws. So not surprising that we see another bet out of Cayman. I think Cayman at this point, when he bets another 60, should be very strong, and he's very committed. He only has 168 left in a pot of 260. So I guess this is a very, very strong bet. I assume that Cayman always has a queen here at least, or even better. I would even assume that he would go all in with clubs or an open-ended straight draw with a pair or something like that. So I think he's not afraid of the all-in, and that basically signals that, to me, he should be very strong. And he gets the shove by Rainman. So again, keeping in mind that both players' ranges are very likely to improve on that 7 on the turn, I think it's not too surprising to see these two hands here with Queen 10 making the call for sure, and 7-6 making the 2 pair on the turn. And I think, again, no player made a real mistake here, and looking back at all the hands, this is just one of those matches, one of those spin and go matches. It just plays out the way it plays out. It is what it is. And sometimes the cards favor one player. In this case, it was Rainman. So nice score for Rainman. Another 100K for K-Man. All those mans here. And the 7 of the ace of clubs on the river doesn't change anything. So that's it. Rainman takes it down for the millie. He's got the million. We still want the million. K-Man and Pablo got 100K each. Still, you know, there's, I think, something to be learned about bet sizing and smart bet sizing, for instance, especially when you want to size in such a way that you still want to find folds, like K-Man did, for instance. You can save some money. He still saved his tournament life with on the bluff in the very first hand, if we recall that. He also used that same sizing with a hand when he had a nice hand, when he actually had top pair. So it's, you know, very interesting to see these kinds of bet sizes being used even in a shallow game like this. There is a lot of room for strategy and a lot of room to experiment with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. As always, if you did, don't forget to hit thumbs up on the video. It always helps the growth and the exposure of the channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any updates on my other series that I'm doing and on this series as well. If there is another millionaire, I'm going to let you guys know for sure, and we're going to review the action. And share it with your friends, like it. You know, as always, give me some feedback in the chat. In the chat, that's like Twitch style. Put it in the commentary, guys. You know, leave me a comment. I will reply for sure. You know my my habit. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Keep running it up, and I want million.